Sales Director, Art Main, Chevrolet, Honda, Charlie Spradlin. Charlie, did I butcher your last name? I hope I didn't. Spradlin?
Yeah, it was as good of an effort as anybody gives, so
Okay.
Spradlin is the name. But yeah, it was good.
Oh no, I did. Okay, I got it the second go. So
Nailed it.
Very good.
Charlie, welcome. We got to ask you the signature question. How's biz? And while you're answering that, give us a little background, who you are, what you do, and where you're at.
Yeah, thanks, man. Business is good. It's been a good year. I think October is slower, probably slower than we've seen all year long. But optimistic that we still got 11 business days left and plenty of time to make a month. So, yeah, man. I've been with this group. Yeah, all the time in the world. That's a huge turnaround time.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I've been with this group for almost 11 years. I started selling here out of college, worked my way up a little bit through sales management, then to GSM, and now sales director for our stores. And it's been good, man. It's a wonderful group to be a part of. I'm very blessed.
Awesome. Well, better than anyone else that, used cars are where the focus needs to be. So what are you seeing as a sales director for your group there? Where do you believe used cars need to go, or where do you think the focus should be on the used cars now?
I mean, I think that our entire mentality around used cars has changed in my stores. It needs to continue to change in the industry, and it needs to go to acquisition, which isn't a new conversation. I don't feel like in the last few years, but it needs to go to affordability and it needs to go to acquisition. You need to stock as many cars as you can for the area economically that you're in. I know every part of the country is a little bit different, and some places can afford different amounts, but for us, that's been in that low 20,000 range, black, white, silver. I get a lot of information and a lot of insight from my buddy Glenn Lundy, and he's been really fantastic in helping me shape the way that I view used cars. We've always done well with them. We've really continued to grow that side of our business as we've struggled to really ramp up volume in new cars. We just tend to be pretty steady these days with inventory the way it's at and incentives the way that they are. So used cars is where we can make our money, and you can really build a whole ecosystem off of them at the dealership, which is what we've done.
Outline that for us. So you say acquisition, and I'm sure Sam agrees with you and with me that that's where it's at. What are you doing differently, and who's steering that ship?
I mean, the passion really comes from me. It's where I just have found my calling, I guess would be, so to speak. I love to find the newest tool. I love to find the newest people that are going to help me reach that goal.
What's the newest tool?
For us, it's been Sky Vision in the service drive. We
Okay.
use it alongside Mastermind, and it's been a game changer for us. It's really taken the prejudice away from talking to service customers, and so it's helped us. It's helped us get more reps and therefore get more quantity, get more gross.
So Sky Vision, really, I'm not familiar with them personally. I haven't used them in the past, but that's helping you mine the service drive.
Yeah, it's not super complicated. It sends we have a set parameter. It sends a text message to every customer that falls within this range. When they bought the car, make and model. Of course, you can customize that to what you want, and it hits every single one every single time. And what that's done is taken away the what if factor. I loved the guy who was just on. I know they use Mastermind. I love Mastermind. But I think that sometimes we decide for a customer when it's a good time to upgrade, when it makes the most sense. And we can't do that. We can't decide for a customer. We can't.
So you're hitting everyone every single time, regardless of where they're at.
Correct. As long as the car is within certain parameters,
Yeah. What's your process in-house? Do you have someone doing that personally, or is it strictly text? Do you have someone meeting them in the drive? Like, what's that look like?
Yeah, so I've done both. We found the most success by having one dedicated person. She went from my sales floor as a salesperson. She's been fantastic. She's a mom, so the service lane hours worked really well with setting that up. And she's got a friendly face. Text message comes out. It's from her. This is the offer. It's a Carfax fair value. It tends to generate a conversation, whether it's good or bad. People tend to respond. And then she's able to take it from there. And I have a manager who kind of specializes in it. He watches the conversations, make sure that they're being responded to. And then I have a used car guy who helps with acquisition, and his main focus is the service drive. So
How long have you been doing this process? And while you're answering that, maybe you could give us, where'd you start and where are you at today? Like, how much have you grown this process?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to a place where it's between 20 and 30 cars a month, which isn't,
Okay.
and that's over and above what we did before. We have a good repeat and referral business. There's a lot of customers that come out of the service drive, go right to their salesperson, and start having a conversation with them when it's time. So I don't know that we did the best job tracking that really for a long time because we just didn't focus on it. It was awkward. People didn't want to have a conversation in the lounge. They didn't want to text somebody who wasn't in the market. And so while we generated a decent amount of business just through that repeat referral avenue, Sky Vision has increased that now where I can see 20 to 30 additional sales out of the service drive a month.
That's
And
great.
so I wish that I had a better pre data on that, but we just didn't do a good enough job tracking it. Now we care
Yeah,
about it, so of course now we watch
sure.
it. But
How many used cars are you doing a month on campus or maybe just in one rooftop?
yeah, so for the one Jackson store,
Mhm.
we just treat it as one used inventory, and we average about 175. So that will
That's
pop
great.
up to 180. Maybe in a slower month, it'll pop
Yeah.
down to 160. So but we've been really, really steady in used cars all year long, which has been fantastic. It's the one part of our business that feels, it's good. We're able to continue to slowly grow it, and it's been a lot of fun.
So you're retailing 170, 180
Yep.
organically. You're acquiring out of the service drive, let's say 20, 30. Where else are you getting your vehicles?
Yeah, we hit the private party pretty hard on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
I have one guy now who's dedicated solely to that, and then I have two buyers at the auction that help supplement around 30 cars a month each. So you know
You
we're
you got my
we're
ears
hitting it
pricking on
from every
Facebook
side.
Marketplace. How many are you buying there? What's
About
your
a dozen,
process?
about a dozen. We use VinQ. Um,
Okay.
it's got a built-in buying center inside of it. It's free of charge for anybody who is on VinQ right now to go and check it out. And it funnels all those conversations into one. There's a bunch of products out there that do it. It works seamlessly with our inventory management system. So that's the route we go. And I have one guy who does that.
Very nice. And how do you keep your inventory flowing if your acquisition channels tighten up?
I mean, we're hitting it from so many angles. We haven't had a huge issue keeping flow. Our inventory levels have been very stable. Um, but that being said, our turn is strong. So we're turning anywhere between 12 and 14 times a year. Um, and we're just right in that affordability bucket. My cars don't sit. If you price them right, if you have the right cars, they will come. If you try to supplement yourself with cars that people don't want to buy because they're easy to get, you're going to have an aging issue. You're going to have a market day supply issue. But my buyers have the service lane isn't quite the same because I want every car to the service lane that I can.
Yeah.
But my buyers have very strict parameters that they set between, and we do not deviate. So that's just allowed us
What
to maintain a good flow.
what are they?
18 to 25,000, black, white, silver, or some variation of those colors. So you will not buy an orange car. You will not buy a baby blue car.
Gotcha.
You know, we will do like some higher end trucks, but like when I mean higher end is like I'll do a 3/4 ton. We'll do 1 tons, but they need to be affordable packages. I'm not buying LTZs. I'm not buying high trim levels. Those kinds of things are for the birds as far as I'm concerned. I want affordable cars always.
How
It's
are you
served us
making
well.
that decision? Like, no orange, right? You're saying, hey,
Yeah.
no orange. Is that data driven? Is it gut?
It's a little bit of both. So, Glenn's really instilled that in me. And so, it's,
By the way, props to Glenn Lundy for guerrilla marketing at its absolute finest. He has stocked our lineup the past couple weeks with people that come in and are big advocates of his. And by the way, I like his thinking. I like the way he
yeah.
approaches it. But we need to get you on our used car panel. So next week, we're going to do a panel of used car directors and managers. And the question is this: what's the best way to buy in today's marketplace? Is it data or is it gut, right? Who's going to win that battle? And then what's the best way to price? Is it data or is it gut? What would you
No,
say?
I think when I go based off of color, it's more based off of visual representation. I mean, if I'm
Okay.
driving down the road, the vast majority of cars that I see are black, white, silver, or some variation of that color. You'll
Yeah.
see a red, you'll see a blue, you'll see a, you know, a baby, baby blue, or you'll see them, but it's not the majority of them. Even the manufacturer, you have to pay extra. You see less for these specialty colors. We sell more black, white, silver, gray, some variation of that than any
In
other color.
Michigan. But if we go to Florida, if we go to
Maybe.
Josh's store, he's going to dispute you on that. So that's why
Yeah,
we need you on
More
the
orange.
that's why we
yeah,
need you on the panel. Hey, I have a question, but
yeah.
kind of stepping back a little bit. I feel like we're in the twilight zone here a little bit. We talked to two dealers today. We talked to a Chrysler dealer, a Stellantis dealer, and then your Honda. Stellantis is talking about working with the OEM to get better market pen, pumping more units, new units into the marketplace. You're arguably with one of the best OEMs with Honda. The multiplier a dealer has to pay to buy the Honda franchise is astounding, astonishing. And
Yeah.
yet you're laser focused on used. And you actually said in our intake forum, you said, look, used cars are where the focus needs to be. New cars is kind of the gravy. It's the icing on the cake. What am I missing? You're a Honda dealer.
Yeah, I mean, we are Chevy Honda, so
Okay.
there's an aspect of that, but we're also in Southeast Michigan. I'm dominated by the big three. They have the biggest presence, and Honda is a fantastic brand.
Yeah.
But I'm only going to create that demand over time because it's just I don't want to be a store that races to the bottom. I don't want to give away a product that I'm very proud of.
Honda
Um,
doesn't want to either, right? Honda doesn't
correct.
Yes.
support
Yeah.
stair step, or they're not pumping volumes in. You've got the
Yeah.
turn and earn is real at Honda.
It is, and you've got very specific rules in which you can advertise by. They don't want you gutting cars online. Like it's just not the message. They're proud, and I'm proud. I'm also proud of our Chevy brand, and so I think that there's a sweet spot between volume and profit, and I always want to toe that line. I don't want to work harder to make less money. I don't want my team to work harder to make less money. We're gonna find that sweet spot. We're gonna keep walking that line. But I can tackle used cars like a formula. I
Yeah.
know that if I stock this and it looks like this and it's priced like this, I'm going to sell it, and I
By
can
data
continue
or
to
by
do it
gut? By the way,
by data.
Yoga Cars says gut is data. So I'll let you. I won't talk
Yeah,
over you there. Go
I
ahead.
think I think experience is incredibly valuable. And I have one buyer who has been in the business for 30 some years. We just got him on our team recently. We're super excited about it. He's doing fantastic. He buys within the parameters, but he buys based off of gut. He goes and talks to people. He shakes hands at the auctions. He loves the game. And then I have one guy who I actually went to high school with. He does a phenomenal job, and he only buys off of data. These are the cars we sell every day. This is what you need to replace. This is how much money we made. And they buy the exact same amount of cars almost to a T, and their grosses per car are within dollars of each other. I mean,
No,
I,
really.
I swear we just did it.
So
We just did it over the summer.
So it's a
And
little bit
it's,
of the old beer commercial, great taste, less feeling. Right, I suppose. If
yeah,
if you're a used car manager and you empower somebody to go with their gut, and this is why we need to have you on this panel because it'll be a fun conversation. Because I think
yeah.
we're going to get a lot of debate. And you empower somebody to go with their gut. Are you careful about who you allow to do that? Not data driven, gut driven. And
Mhm.
like, what are the qualifications in your mind at a Honda dealer in Michigan? Buying cars and pricing cars a little bit
Yeah.
on gut, avoiding the orange, avoiding certain
Well,
pricing.
and I don't price cars based off of gut. But Carl, his name's Carl. We trust him emphatically. He's a guy that he's been around our stores for a long time. His brother was our used car manager for a really long
Okay.
time. He was a competitor with us for a super long time. And
Yeah.
it's there's a level of trust there that I know he's got the dealership at heart. I know he's going to do a good job. And if he does anything at all that he feels like is, hey, I gambled with this,
Yeah.
don't be mad. He calls me, we talk through it. I've got his back, he's got mine. And I think for buyers, that's probably the number one thing for me is if I'm trusting you to spend well, it's not my money, it's my owner's, but I got to protect it.
Mhm.
But if I'm trusting you to spend that,
So
if I'm putting you out there, I got to trust you.
So I'm going to just throw this out here. If you're if you're a used car director for a large platform dealer, you want to get involved in this conversation debate of data versus gut. How do you buy? How do you price? Uh, Go fill out the guest submission form on the CDG website. We'd love to have you a part of the show. And it's interesting, Charlie. Scott Simons posted to social. He says, Charlie, what's your average used car recon through the shop, and what's your current days to lot?
Yeah. So my my days to lot is slightly skewed because we track transport as well. But we're on the lot,
Which
and
is good.
I
Yeah,
think you should. So
you should.
not everybody tracks the same things. But from date of purchase to on the lot, photos, full set, we're 10 days,
Okay.
which is like a little high. But sometimes transport can weigh that down, and parts holds have been skewing our data quite a bit. But
Why do
10
you
days
include transport?
because I spent my money the day I bought the car. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
it
floor
matters.
plan
It's
expense.
automatically there's expenses
Yeah.
associated with it. I think it's crazy to not consider that. So
Yeah.
we're all in on that, and right now we're sitting in the one location at about 200 to 210 cars um, full. So that's like including wholesale. That's including anything that's in the shop and then on the lot. So
And
I
is
think
there
yeah.
any tech you use in the photo piece others could learn from, and or transport to reduce the transport time? If you're tracking that transport, which I agree you've
Yeah.
got to, because you're spending money on the interest rate floor plan expense. Anybody that's getting that vehicle to you faster than another.
Yeah, Auto Hauler Exchange is the fastest that I've found. We've played with Central Dispatch for a long time. I was introduced to the company, and at first glance, you might think it's a little bit more expensive, but I would argue that it's not. It gets there substantially faster than any other company that I've used, and there's some accountability there, which I love. I like to know who I'm working with. If I have a problem, it's handled immediately, and they do a great job.
They've been
The
on the
turnaround
show.
time with them is
Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been on the show. Anybody on the photo side?
No, so we flipped to an in-house photo process. We used to outsource it. I didn't always get the consistency that I wanted. Sometimes we would wait a day or two for people to show up because someone was sick or something was wrong. But we now have a full recon facility. Detail, everything happens out of one building. We have photos done at the exact same time. So it's automatically, as soon as a car comes in, we have a set of photos done. And then as soon as it gets through the shop and through detail, we have a set of photos done. And that's cut our time down by like 2 to 3
Is
days.
central recon facility for all three or just for the one location?
Nope, just the one location. The other location has its own, but also is in house. But again, it's cut our time down by 2 to 3 days.
Okay. Hey, Charlie, so in October 2025, what's
Yeah.
the biggest mistake you see dealers making with used cars today?
I think it's getting scared. I think we hit
Of orange
Q4 a lot of
cars?
times. Well, of orange cars, I'm terrified of orange. But I think people get scared in Q4. I know we have in the past. I think a lot of places see the end of the year coming. They see a dip, and I'm certainly not someone to say, "Hey, get loosey goosey with your processes." Buy too many cars. No, but you need to be prepared to sell a lot of cars. And what I find is that, like, I talk to people, and their supply goes like this. It's kind of weird coming off the screen. Sorry, but it goes down towards the end of the year, and then everybody's panic buying, trying to find cars in January and in February, and then they miss the boom or they pay too much money and they aren't able to
Mm.
gross the way that they should. And so, being cautious but optimistic about the future of the car business, it's always a good time to buy, and I want to be the place that has the inventory for people to buy.
Well, Charlie Spradlin, sales director, Art Main Chevrolet Honda. Not only am I going to stop by one of these days between Kalamazoo and the Detroit airport, driving by,
Please do.
and check it out, say hi. But we appreciate your perspectives and sharing all things used cars. Again, a cool conversation, and surprising to me, the focus given given the OEM multiplier. But I think it's justified. I think you guys you've got some really cool things going there. So we appreciate you being on the show, Charlie. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It was fun.